Hey guys, welcome back to another review from Rant Bollox. We haven't done one of these for a while. In fact, the last one we did was Black Panther, so it really has been a while. But we saw Captain Marvel. Paul saw it a week or two before me. I've just seen it, and while it's fresh in my memory, and Paul, I don't know his thoughts, but I'm eager to see what he thinks. But when did you see it, Paul?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it a week ago. Yeah, I saw it last weekend.
Nice.
So just around when the time it opened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like a month.
And I didn't tell you anything. I let you go and see it and watch it and experience it for yourself.
100%.
Was really the last film we saw of Black Panther.
The last review, like we obviously seen films, but I was looking on through the channel, and I know that we've had that mini break, but yeah, the last one was Black Panther. So and it says like a year ago. So we'll have to we'll be doing more. We told our fans in the comments that we'll be doing more as well. So and we'll be doing commentaries and whatever. But yeah, this one is a month away from Endgame as well, and I know that Captain Marvel plays a big role in that, but I have no idea what you think of it. You have no idea what I think of it. You're more of the kind of movie guy. Like I know you really analyze them, but I'll let you kick it off, man. Like your thoughts.
You want me to go first? You don't want to go because you got like the fresh out
You
of
know
the
what?
oven
You know,
thoughts.
I like that because usually I let you go first. So fuck that. I'll go first. I'll start by saying that I wasn't really pushed to go see it. Like with Black Panther and the Thors and stuff, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go. For this one, I was, it actually took me a while to get to the cinema. I think it's been out for 3 weeks. I knew I wanted to see it, but there was a part of me I almost wanted to see this film more, just to see the end credit scene, to see how it leads in to Endgame. And I know that's just a tiny thing, but yeah. Anyway, and I haven't been to the cinema for a while either. But sat down, and my overall impressions is good. Nothing crazy. I think this is the way I'll sum it up. Is like as soon as the film finished, I looked at my brother. I went to see it with him, and we both kind of like, yeah, it was all right, But we weren't blown away, but we weren't like oh my god, what was that steaming pile of shit either type thing. But there was definitely something missing. There was some secret sauce that Marvel usually have. This is just for me, that was missing. Some of my pros were I loved that we were singing some of the characters again. Like we were seeing Fury, we were seeing Olsen. I think Olsen's going to be a big one for a lot of people. I loved seeing
Coulson. Yeah.
yeah, like seeing him again is awesome. And then they must have done that little filter with the face to make him look younger. And then who was the other one? Yeah, so the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, the bad guy. His name is, I had to look it up, at Koroth. But at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy, he like works for Ronan, and he was like he was after.
Yeah.
So it was great to see him in it, and then Ronan himself as well, a nice little young Ronan. But I think Samuel Jackson as well. I always like seeing him on film, so it was good to see, kind of like him playing like a little bit of like a cop duo, like almost like a Lethal Weapon type thing. So that was kind of cool. I'm a cat lover, so the cat in the film was those scenes were kind of cool. But just in general, the film and the way they told the story, I thought they told the story in kind of a cool way. With she started off and she was fully in her suit. And I guess the audience might have been thinking, oh, she is like an alien maybe. And then I like the fact that when she got caught, by the way, obviously there's going to be spoilers here and we'll put that in the description. But when she got caught,
Spoilers.
when she got caught, they were going through her memory. I kind of liked the way that they were going through the memory and then she was discovering like, oh, who I am. And then that's how we kind of learned as well. So it didn't just start off on Earth. So those were kind of cool bits. But I think the thing that kind of ruined it for me, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place with this review, is in beginning, end, whatever, is like overall I found her too powerful, and I know that she is maybe the most powerful person in the Marvel universe. I know she's the most powerful Avenger, but I did find that in all the Marvel films, the character kind of progresses and gets better, Whereas I feel like she was just awesome at the beginning, as in like powerful, and then she was just awesome at the end, even more powerful, So I didn't see as much of a growth there, and that kind of like maybe that was the secret sauce that was missing. And then also, where in the hell was she during like the Avenger films? Because like in 2 of those Avenger films, shit was hitting the fan, and I feel like why didn't Fury like call on her? And I know at the end of the film she says, "Don't call on me unless there's an emergencies," but was that not an emergency? But just a little little things. But I think overall, yeah, I think she was too powerful. I don't think she had a big enemy, a powerful enough enemy against her. But I still enjoyed myself. I still enjoyed watching the film, and thinking about it right now and talking about it right now, I'll easily go see it again because my wife wants to see it before Endgame, and I probably will go see it again with her. But for me, there was something missing from the other Marvel films. So that's kind of like my little wrap up review there. Yeah. What about you, man? What were you thinking?
I am going to say that you're a lot nicer to it than I am,
Okay.
but
Okay.
you have the same feeling I have. It's like there's nothing wrong with it. Like there's no moments where you're like, oh, screw this, and rolling your eyes, and you're not like bored at any particular points in it. But yeah, the fact that it ended, and then I'm just like, that was disappointing. Like that's just, I could have like you said, you went to see it, and I kind of went to see it for the same reason of hopefully this will give me something about Endgame. But like I can go the rest of my life and not watch it again. I'm just like, no,
yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, like when I got out of the cinema, I was like, yeah, it's good. And then my brother and I basically said almost at the same time, it's not my favorite Marvel film, and that's not really what you want when you walk out the cinema, is it? So
no, like it's for me, like as I've thought about it now for longer than you have. It's like you said, you're jumping around, being like, that's okay and that's good, and like Nick Fury's the best part in it, and the Cap bits are kind of funny, and I kind of liked how they portrayed the bad guys, the Skrulls, and they did the twist, and it's like, oh, he's actually the good guy, but at the end of it, I'm just like, it's all wrong the way it's laid out, because like you said, it starts off, she's on this alien world, and for me, I'm just like, I don't care about her journey. So I think like when you're saying the secret sauce, for me, the way I put that is like, there's no setup, so all the payoffs that come later don't work.
right.
So like when you get into the final third of the movie, you have her, like she meets her old friend, and she goes to visit her and her daughter in New Orleans, and then the aliens show that they're actually good guys, and like I'm giving away all the big moments, but that's the point. And then she has her big fight where she's like, oh, I can do anything, and she stands up, and like they show all these memories of her standing up from all throughout her life, and that's her gaining control, and it's just like, I have no connection to any of that. Like none of that hits home, none of that has an impact on me.
Yeah. I will definitely say her friend and her relationship was lacking. Like there was one point in the movie where she shouts and she goes, I don't even know who I am, and her friend says, you are this, you are that, and then instantly it was like a bit of a Martha moment. It was just like she was,
and they're hugging, and they're just like,
that wasn't again, there was just something missing there, and like from the usual Marvel stuff, and it was like because they had to tell a lot of stuff in the film, but that they didn't build that connection as much for me.
No, because I think that's the point of like the start of it was, like you said, it's good because they're trying not to be an origin movie.
Yeah.
But it is an origin movie in the end. But because they were like, they started and they're like, oh, we're going to go through dream sequences. I thought, okay, if you do the whole movie doing that and like really get invested in it, that could be good. But they don't. And they're kind of just like, now she's on this planet, and now she's here, and now she's in Blockbuster, and we have funny moments and so on. And like for me, the character of Carol Danvers is exactly the same from the start of the movie until the end of the movie.
Mm.
She makes jokes when she's on the alien planet. She's like the same character. Like, she just seems like an Earth woman at the start, and then she's an Earth woman in the middle. But then she learns what her real name is, and then she's at the end. She's like, I'm Captain Marvel, but I'm still who I've always been.
100%. 100%.
Whereas you look at, I'm trying to think, it's like Terminator 2, like an out there example. Like, you have the robot comes in and he's a robot, and then John Connor teaches him how to be a human, and then by the end of it, he's like, now I know why you cry, and then that kind of stuff. There's nothing like that happens with her. So when her friends like, you're Carol Danvers and something's like, yeah, but nothing's changed. She's still the same woman she was an hour ago.
Yeah, yeah.
She still makes jokes, and she's still smiling, and she's nice to everybody. And it's like, if they had just gone the straightforward origin story of, this is her as a little girl, she had a shitty fucking time, people were nasty to her because she's a girl, she overcame it, she became a pilot, then everything that happens in the final part of the movie where she's supposed to be this really brave girl who stands up makes sense. Whereas for me, the Martha moment is when she's like summoning all her powers and she's fighting inside her own head, and all she does is like break this little chip on her neck.
I know.
Like that could come off in the shower. Like, there's nothing spectacular or epic about doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, even and then sorry, yeah.
I just wanted, like, you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy, which is always a great Marvel one. Like, that's an origin story, but it doesn't feel like an origin story. It doesn't feel boring because they just get to the parts that matter. But that's one of those films that has a great setup and payoff. And the setup is his mom dies at the very start of the movie. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Guardians. And then at the very end of the movie, there's this package that he opens that he's kept for whatever it is, 30 years, and reads a letter. And then from that letter, you find out how important the music was. Peter's moved on in his life, and we learn why it's so important to be called Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And all of that happens because you set up like something important way back. And then at the end, when it finally hits home, it's this really emotional moment. And they play the music and the film ends. And everyone's like, yay, great. The other setup and payoff in that film is they show the Infinity Stone, and they show that it can destroy entire planets. They show somebody dying from it. They show it blowing up. And so at the end, when he grabs it and he's getting ripped apart, you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then they all touch and they can all control the power. And you're like, holy shit, they can do it. And then even the bad guy goes like, how can you control this? And it's like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch. And it's funny, but it's also, it's that's what you're building towards. It's like a joke. You got to build to the punchline.
Yeah.
It's just an emotional punchline. And I think with Captain Marvel, they had the emotional punchlines. You can see it very clearly, but there's no setup. Like, I don't care. Her friend says one line of dialogue in a flashback memory, and then an hour and a half later in the movie, she's like, you're Carol Danvers and you're my best friend. And it's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you're telling me who the fuck she is.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, that came through. It's just not believable at all. Yeah, like, and you just mentioned with Guardians of the Galaxy, like looping it background, his mother dying at the beginning, and then suddenly playing the tape and all that lot. It's like it didn't have that. I mean, like we've said it already, but she was human and she was Carol at the beginning, and she's exactly the same, but she's just glowing at the end. You know, there was no progression. And also too powerful. I felt like she never was like in any harm. Like even when that Skrull, the Skrull had her, and they had those things on her arm, I thought like they look kind of like, oh, they've really locked her down, and she just like, you know, this is 20 minutes into the film, and then she could just blow them off her hands, and then beat up all the people on the ship and stuff like that. So it's just pretty crazy how powerful she is, but even at the beginning of the film, you know, so I just didn't enjoy that either.
Why didn't they take a page out of the Book of Thor? Because Marvel has this character who's super powerful. It's
That's it.
Thor.
This is great. Yeah.
And like the very first movie, what they did with him, they just took all his powers away. Like, you're on Earth, that's it, you're done. Fine. You can't do that with this movie so much. They try to make her weak. You had the second Thor movie, which isn't great, but it's still good. But the thing that they had there was he's dealing with things that he can't hit, or, you know, he's dealing with power that's even bigger than he is. And then in the third movie, again, they kind of take his power away. Like, they give him that little... It's like the same as Captain Marvel, where like they have a little shock collar and he can't activate his powers and all this.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put in some limits. Otherwise, it's like you said, it's just like, well, why doesn't she just do this from the very start? It's the Superman problem. Like, Superman can solve everything. How do you make it so Superman can't solve it in the first 5 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, yeah.
But with this one, there were so many ways of making it. Like, I think they tried it. Like, I think what they were trying to do was her memories are what's keeping her down. And then when she remembers that she's human, she remembers all the strength of being a human. Then she's realized, oh, she can stand up, she can rise up, she's strong, and she gets all her power. But that didn't work. So there's no emotion to her powers. So like you said, at the start, she's beating the shit out of everybody with handcuffs on. She lands on Earth, and it's like, there's no threat to her there.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that's going to make you worry. It's like, I didn't understand, like, half of that. Like, why her and Nick Fury are running away from the Skrull guy. Like, she can destroy everybody in that building.
Yeah, it's true, actually. Like, because the main Skrull guy... I mean, the fact that they're shapeshifters is, like, a little bit threatening. But, yeah, she could have taken them all on, and quite easily as well.
Yeah, but they run away in the Quinjet and all that, and it's like, you can beat the hell out of everybody on the spaceship with your hands tied.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that you're on Earth, you're fine. Yeah. You can't do your super glowy moment. You're not going full Sonic the Hedgehog, but it doesn't matter.
There was
I just don't get. I don't get it.
There was on a more positive side. There was the main Skrull dude when he took over Fury's boss. That guy, he's been in so many films as a bad guy. I think his name's Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, he's in Star Wars and yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is correct. But when he shapeshifts to his boss, but isn't he plays him? Ben Mendelsohn plays the main Skrull guy as well, doesn't he? So like technically,
yeah, he does. When it's just him.
I kind of like that when he shapeshifts. It's just like you're just shapeshifting to your own thing, you know. And then he kept talking about how he liked
they
him.
didn't change his accent. Yeah, he just kept his Australian accent in it.
And there was some funny
the general
moments.
Marvel tone. Like, I'm picking at it on a structural level. The general Marvel tone is good. Like, Brie Larson's not super amazing in it, but she's fine.
Yeah,
I think Sam Jackson was the best thing in it. Ben Mendelsohn was a close second. Like you said, the Flurkin, the cat, it's great. There's funny moments. They're not super funny, but it's like got that lighthearted Marvel touch to it. The action scenes look good. Special effects look good.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, it's all that's like, we're kind of spoiled. Like, you expect that. Like, I expect that now. If you're not giving me that out of a Marvel movie, what are you doing with $150 million?
Well, the other
give me a story though. Give me something under it.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, this is like what 21st or 22nd Marvel film, so expectations are high because they've had a lot of practice at this as well, you know. So a little surprising that it was on the crappier side, especially before Endgame, but in a way doesn't do it. It won't hurt Endgame at all. And also, in a way, it's kind of nice having a little bit of a letdown because we know Endgame's just going to be awesome, and it's just like, I don't know. It would have been nice to have had a Black Panther like before Infinity War, but yeah, it's still Endgame. It's still going to be epic. It's just yeah.
No doubts about Endgame.
Just a little bit surprising.
I don't know what their plan was for this movie. It's just weird. It's a weird. I think the problem was they went back to Earth. Like, there was no story. It didn't make sense to go back to Earth because I was just thinking of like the bad guy. I can't remember the bad guy's name, but he's played by Jude Law.
Right. Yeah.
And when you reveal that she has the memory and then it's actually he's the bad guy, like in a better movie, everybody in the audience should be going, "Oh my god!"
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that did not happen.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, oh, he's the bad guy. He shot her. Okay, great.
Yeah, and again,
And
and
that's it.
and no fear for. I mean, actually, this was a big thing as when Ronan, he called Ronan, and you're like, oh, Ronan's coming, and we're like, oh my god, we've seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's pretty chaotic and stuff, and she just ran through all those ships, and she just went literally up to Ronan's face and said, piss off, you know. It's just, I don't know. There was never any fear in that movie. So
No, like I would have kept it on the alien planet, and the scrolls are in her head, and they're just going through her memories.
yeah, yeah,
Like the whole reason to have Nick Fury in there, I think, was just to show off that they have the best special effects anyone's ever seen in movie history.
I think you're right.
It's like, it's flawless. Him and Coulson was a little bit, you could tell Coulson had some work, but like Nick Fury, it looks like Samuel Jackson from 30 years
great.
ago.
Yeah, he was really good. I was when I was looking at it, I was just like, it's a good thing he didn't gain a lot of weight, because otherwise they'd have to get him into like some crazy shape or something, you know. But yeah. But yeah,
But like having him on Earth, having him do his, like you said, his cop buddy, that whole thing, chasing her down, finding out her real name, didn't need it. Didn't do anything. It was fun, but just empty. Like there was no point in having that scene in it.
yeah. Yeah.
Except to have like, oh well, now Nick Fury knows there's aliens out there, so that's why he started the Avengers. Apart from mega nerds, no one really gives a shit why he started the Avengers.
Yeah. It's true. That's why we needed to analyze these films down to the T.
Yeah. Down to the thing. But for it's like you're I'm glad you had the reaction you had of like, it's not shit, but it's missing that Marvel magic sauce, like you said. And for me, like, just on a level, it's just like, there's no emotion to anything. Like you said, you're not afraid for her, you're not happy for her, you're not you're not scared of the bad guy, you don't want him to lose. Like, I didn't care when she beat the shit out of Jude Law.
Yeah. I think emotion is the right word to use. Actually, it was just level all the way. There was never any kind of high moment, low moment. It was just level the whole way. And to be honest, for a Marvel film, it should be higher. For a DC film, we'd almost say that's great, you know. But
True.
But I'd honestly have to say, as an origin film and stuff, like, I think I preferred Wonder Woman and stuff. I think they did a better job. So, like, that's maybe 1 point to DC there.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking of the last proper Marvel one we did review was also the last proper origin one, which was Black Panther.
Yeah.
And Black Panther's a pretty straightforward, like, story. But like you said, there's a lot of emotion in. He loses his kingdom. He has to get it back. Is he going to have the strength to do it? And then you've got this bad guy in it who's really, really interesting. And at some point, you're kind of like, you know what? I agree with him.
Yeah.
Now, the final act of Black Panther, like the last third of it, kind of let me down. I didn't like the ending. But at least in the movie, like, it goes up and down and you're feeling things. And in this one, it just trotted along.
Yeah, I agree. It was like, the other thing is, I think I looked at my watch after like an hour and a half, and that's not like there's little signs here and there. I think I looked at my watch and I was just like, where are we? You know, whereas like Endgame is officially going to be over 3 hours. I think they said they can't cut it down to less, and I'm pretty sure I won't be looking at my watch once. So
no,
but yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, like we said, secret sauce missing. I think you probably hated it a little bit more than me. But once I've had time to kind of, after a week, I'll probably be like, yeah. Maybe Leah will say, do you want to go see it? And I'm like, we'll just download it. So yeah, we'll see. But
well, it's one of those things for me that you're not going to regret seeing it, but at the same time, I'm not going to encourage anybody to see it.
Yeah.
If it's on, watch it. You know.
I think I'd agree with that. And then just to
it's a Thor 2. It's on that level for me. It's like,
I think that's fair.
There's nothing in it that's going to make you hate it, but you're going to watch it and be like, yeah, it was fine.
That's fair.
And you don't need to see it to see Endgame. The end credits thing.
Oh no, you don't.
Don't need. There's nothing in there that's gonna make her turn up in Endgame. Like it kind of makes this film pointless. Like it'll take 30 seconds to explain who she is in Endgame.
I know, and I did have that same thought because Lear was saying, I said, oh, you have to go see it before Endgame, but then I was just like, actually, I don't know if you have to. And she was asking me stuff about the film, and I'm like, you don't even want to see this, do you? So, she doesn't have to.
It's not there.
Yeah. I was going to say we can talk about the end credit scene, but really there's nothing to talk about. It's almost exactly the same as what happened at the end of Infinity War. It's like the only difference here is it's technically they've just cut out 10 seconds or 15 seconds of Endgame, because that must be a scene in Endgame where they're like, oh, we're looking for Captain Marvel, unless Endgame starts with Captain Marvel already in it. So
no, I think I was just watched Captain America Civil War, and I was watching that, and I remembered watching Ant-Man. It's like a link the chain thing here. But at the end of Ant-Man, there's no after credit scene. There's a scene from Civil War.
Right.
Where it's the scene where Bucky's got his arm in the vice, and Captain America's talking to Falcon. He's like, what are we going to do? And Falcon goes, I know a guy. And then that's the end of it.
Okay.
Because that's like, oh, Ant-Man's going to be in Civil War. And in this, that's the exact same thing that happened. It's a scene from the movie.
Yeah.
They're talking about a character, and then you see the characters in it. So everyone knows for a fact she's going to be in Endgame.
Yeah.
As if you didn't know that. But yeah, it's just a scene from the movie. It's not even a full scene. It's like you said, 20, 25 seconds.
Yeah. And then there's also, spoiler alert, but nothing major because you've already seen the film. I know you're not watching the trailers, but you also see her in a trailer, in one of the new trailers. So,
right.
So people already know, as well. So that even reinforces, like, why even have that scene? People have already seen that trailer, or a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
I will say this though. I know some people have had this reaction of like, she's too powerful. Oh, she's just going to destroy Thanos all by herself. And I was looking at the movie. I'm like, she's powerful. She's probably like Thor level power. She's not beating Thanos on her own.
Definitely not. No.
Like, I don't understand how people got this idea that she's the one and only thing that'll make a difference. Like, he clicked his fingers and killed half of everything in the universe.
Yeah.
He's fine. Like, if he's going up against Supersonic, he's fine.
Yeah.
She can shoot him with ray blasts all day of the week. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, I know at the end of the film she like had all her powers, but if she has just half of them, and like someone like the Jude Law guy can take her on, it means that Thanos can definitely take her on even with all four, or the full force of her powers and stuff. But I'm sure he'll play time on his hand, or he'll do something, or. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping what's happening is Disney have bought Fox, Galactus is going to be in it, and there's going to be super powerful god beings or whatever.
Right.
That's what I hope. I just hope that that's the way it is. Because everyone kind of forgets that Thanos literally just had the glove for one moment before Thor hit him with the axe.
Right.
So if they want to in the next one, they can just have him be on like another level of power where he kind of understands his, all the gems together, what he can do, and it becomes a whole different ball game. But maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll just go back to him just punching Tony Stark in the face a long time.
Yeah, well, I think something's going to happen, obviously, with his glove, and the stones are going to be taken, or, I don't know, all at once, or one at a time or something. But you're going to need to have the Avengers have their own kind of stage, and each of them are going to have to, like, take on him or one of his enemies. So, like, I mean, if he's got the full power with the glove, like Captain America can't do shit. No one can do anything. So he's going to have to be weakened at some point, and they're going to have to take him on, or he's going to bring back some of his old enemy friends and stuff, and then that's the way Because like when you're watching the Avengers, you want to see them do well. Like the first hour of that Endgame is going to be them building up, and then we're going to get an hour of just like awesome. The Hulk's going to be there; he's going to be smashing people up. Captain America is going to do some good, and then the last hour is going to be shit's hit the fan. But that hour of goodness where they all get their moment, I'm wondering whether it's going to be, oh, he's lost the green stone, he doesn't have the time anymore. That's where Captain America can come in or something. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how they do it.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, the one thing with the movie for me that's made me excited is just they got the first movie out, kept this massive, massive twist ending secret from everybody, and they got away with it, which means they clearly have something planned for this movie. It's like, if it's 3 hours long and they can't cut it down, that makes me think like the final third of this movie is just going to be an hour of just awesome moments of just stuff hitting the wall, and shit hitting the fan, and it's all going to come out.
100%. I just realized that we're talking about Endgame.
Why wouldn't it? You've got a glove that can control everything.
Well, we'll cut the review there because we're talking about Endgame more than we are Captain Marvel. But I guess it does link with it, though. It does link. But so like
what I would hope is, based on this movie, she's not the star of the next movie.
And I don't think so, because I think even though she's just right before Endgame, I think she's too new, she's too fresh. I think they'll have her in there, but even like people like I was going to say Aquaman for a second there, Black Panther. Like I think it's going to be the main Avengers are going to have the limelight. So
yeah, it's the way it's got to be, just because of her movie's a perfect example to bring it back, is that they didn't build it to have any emotion in it. Whereas with the Avengers, we've got 10 years now. You got 10 years of Iron Man and Captain America. So if something happens with one of them, it's going to matter a lot more.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of scenarios in my head, but that's for another podcast. So
yeah,
could just go on and on.
But thanks for listening to the review anyway, for everybody.
Yeah.
Our ramblings about a film that you may or may not have seen 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think as well. I know we're usually quite pro Marvel on the channel. I'm kind of glad to have a Marvel film to rant about that's not X-Men and stuff. So, let us know what you think about it.
X-Men's out soon, isn't it? Oh, God.
They played the trailer, and I was just like, I don't. I think I was like physically upset in the cinema. I was like, I just don't want to watch this, but And then they played Hobbs and Shaw, and then I started crying.
Yeah. The trailer for X-Men, the new X-Men, to me looks like somebody cut together scenes from the old movies.
Oh,
couldn't tell the difference.
I agree. Just they just use that younger filter. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in for the review. And yeah, let us know your thoughts down below as well. And I guess the next
thanks, guys.
big review we'll be doing will be Endgame. So yeah, cheers guys.